Let me ask you something. Have you ever had that sinking feeling? You know the one. You're scrolling through the news and every headline is screaming chaos. The market's tanking. Your retirement account looks like it got hit by a truck. Maybe your company just announced restructuring and you're wondering if your name's on a list somewhere. You lie awake at 2 a.m. doing mental math. How long can we survive if I lose my job? Should I pull everything out? Is this it? Yeah, I've been there too. And here's the thing that made me angry when I first figured it out. While you and I are lying awake, stressed, playing defense, trying not to drown, there's another group of people who are sleeping like babies. Not because they're heartless, not because they don't care, but because they see the exact same crisis through a completely different lens. Where we see disaster, they see a once-in-a-decade shopping spree. I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. I'm saying it because once I understood how they think, what they do, and why it works, everything changed for me. And today, I want to walk you through their playbook. Not so you hate them, not so you feel helpless, but so you can steal the parts that actually apply to your life, no matter where you're starting from. Let's dive in.
Part 1. It starts in your head. So here's where it begins. And I'm going to be honest with you. This first part is uncomfortable because it's about you and me, not them. When the market crashes, what does your brain do? If you're like most people, it screams. It goes, sell, get out, save what's left. And that's not your fault. Your brain is wired, literally over millennia, to do exactly that. You see the herd running, you run. You see danger, you protect yourself. That reflex kept us alive when saber-toothed tigers were a thing. But in modern markets, that reflex destroys you. Because while your brain is yelling sell, someone else's brain, someone who's been through multiple crashes, who studied this, who's trained themselves, sees something totally different. They see a 50% off sale on the best assets in the world. Imagine you've had your eye on a luxury watch for years. It's $10,000. You want it, but you're not paying that. Then one day the store has a fire sale. Chaos everywhere. That same watch, now $5,000. Do you run away because there's chaos, or do you walk in and buy it? That's the difference. It's not that they don't feel fear, they do. But they've learned to be more afraid of missing the opportunity than they are of short-term pain. Warren Buffett didn't make up "be greedy when others are fearful" as a cute quote for Instagram. It's a brutal, executable strategy that requires something most of us were never taught: stomach. The emotional fortitude to act when everything inside you is screaming to freeze. And here's the part that hit me hardest when I learned it. This isn't genetic, it's trained. Nobody's born with this. They practiced it. They went through downturns, made mistakes, studied history, and reconditioned their response. Which means, so can you.
Part 2. The war chest. Preparing before the storm. Okay, so let's say you want to be the person buying during the fire sale. There's just one problem. You need money to buy things. And here's where the wealthy made their real move. Not during the recession, but years before it. Let me paint you a picture. It's 2005, 2006. The economy's roaring. Real estate is going up, stocks are up. Everyone's refinancing, buying bigger houses, nicer cars. Money's cheap, life is good. Most people, and I'm not judging, I did this too early on, are using that cheap debt to upgrade their lifestyle. Bigger house, new car, amazing vacation. We deserve this. Meanwhile, there's a quieter group doing the exact opposite. They're selling off assets they don't really need, paying down risky debt, stockpiling cash in boring, liquid accounts, restructuring their finances so they have what they call dry powder. That's cash that's not tied up, not locked in some fund you can't access, not earmarked for bills. It's offensive capital. It's their ammunition. So when 2008 hits, or 2020 or the next one, they're not scrambling. They're not forced to sell their house, their stocks, their business at a loss just to survive. They're the only ones at the auction with cash in hand, while everyone else is desperate to unload assets just to make payroll or cover the mortgage. Let me tell you how this felt for me personally. In 2008, I was young, dumb, and had barely any savings. I watched real estate in my area drop 40%. I knew it was a good deal. I felt it. But I had no cash. I was living paycheck to paycheck, a little credit card debt, no plan. I could only watch while other people I knew, People who'd been boring and cautious during the boom stepped in and bought 2, 3, 4 rental properties for nothing. Fast forward 10 years, those properties tripled in value. They're collecting rent every single month. And I learned the lesson the hard way. The money you make in a recession is actually made before the recession by being prepared. You don't need millions, you just need to resist lifestyle creep during the good times and build a separate pile of money labeled, "This is for when everything goes on sale." That's it. That's the whole secret.
Part 3. Buying back the company, the silent wealth transfer. All right, here's one that blew my mind when I finally understood it. Stock buybacks. I know, sounds boring. Stay with me. Imagine you and 9 friends own a pizza together. You each own 1 slice. Now imagine the pizza shop is having a bad month. Everyone's panicking. 3 of your friends say, "I'm out, I want my money back." So the pizza shop buys their slices back and retires them. Now there's only 7 slices left, but it's still the same size pizza. Your slice just got bigger. That's exactly what smart companies do during a recession. Their stock price gets crushed, not because the business is dying, but because everyone's panicking and selling. So the company looks at the price and says, "Wait, our stock is worth way more than this. Let's buy it back while it's cheap." They use their cash reserves to buy back shares at a discount. Fewer shares in circulation equals the remaining shares, including the ones owned by insiders, executives, founders, are now worth more. It's a completely legal way to transfer wealth from panicked sellers to the people who stayed calm. And if you're paying attention as an investor, you can spot this. Which companies are still doing buybacks during the storm? Which CEOs are personally buying more stock with their own money? Because trust me, nobody knows the business better than the person running it. If they're backing up the truck in the middle of a crash, that's not an accident, that's a signal.
Part 4. Debt as a weapon. Becoming the bank. Now, let's talk about something most of us have totally backward: debt. You hear debt and think credit cards, car loans, burden, stress, chains. The wealthy hear debt and think leverage, control, opportunity. Here's how this plays out in a recession. When credit freezes up and banks stop lending, a lot of good businesses suddenly can't get the money they need. Not because they're bad companies, just because they're in a tough spot and the banks are scared. That's when the big players step in. They say, "We'll give you the money the bank won't, but it's going to cost you." And the terms? Brutal. Double-digit interest rates, equity warrants, options to buy ownership later, board seats, first claim on assets if things go south. They structure the deal so they win either way. If the business recovers, they make a fortune in interest, plus they own a piece of the company. If the business fails, they seize the assets, factories, patents, real estate, for pennies on the dollar. They're essentially writing mortgages on entire companies, and they're perfectly fine with either outcome. You might be thinking, okay, cool, but I'm not lending money to corporations. Fair. But here's the lesson you can use. Over time, you want to move from being the borrower to being the lender, even in small ways. Own dividend-paying stocks. You're lending capital, getting paid. Own rental real estate. The tenant pays you. Build assets that generate cash flow without your direct time. You're shifting from "I work for money" to "money works for me." That's the same principle, just scaled to your life. Part 5. Real estate. They're not buying homes. They're buying the loans. Let's talk housing. Every time there's a market crash, regular people think, terrible time to buy real estate. The wealthy think, perfect time to buy real estate, or better yet, buy the debt. Here's what I mean. They're often not scrolling Zillow looking for a house. They're calling banks and saying, "Hey, what non-performing loans are you trying to get rid of?" Translation, they're buying bundles of mortgages, loans where people have stopped paying at a massive discount, sometimes 30, 40, 50 cents on the dollar. Once they own the loan, they become the bank. Now they can offer the homeowner a modification, restructure terms, turn it into a paying loan. Or, if there's no path forward, foreclose and take ownership of the property for a fraction of its value. That's how, over the course of a single recession, a small group of people ends up owning thousands of rental properties. They're not flipping houses, they're becoming the new landlord class.
quietly and systematically. Again, you might not be buying loan portfolios, but you can pay attention to who's buying rental properties in your area when everyone else is panicking. What neighborhoods are being quietly bought up by investors, not families? Because that's where the next wave of wealth is being built.
Part 6, building the fortress. Defense wins championships. So we've talked a lot about offense, buying, accumulating, expanding. But here's something just as important: protection. The wealthiest people aren't just thinking, how do I grow? They're also obsessed with, how do I make sure I never lose what I've built? While you're worried about one retirement account, they're protecting an entire kingdom. Here's how. 1. They shift into defensive assets. When things get shaky, they move big chunks of money into government bonds from stable countries, critical infrastructure, toll roads, utilities, water systems, energy pipelines. Why? Because whether the economy is booming or burning, people still need water. They still use electricity. They still drive on highways. These assets generate predictable, boring, safe cash flow that doesn't depend on consumer confidence. They're buying the pipes of society, the things we all have to pay to use. 2. They use legal structures like armor. Their wealth isn't sitting in their personal name. It's spread across LLCs, trusts, holding companies, separate legal entities. So if one risky business blows up, they let it die. The bankruptcy stays inside that one shell. Their other assets, untouched. For you and me, debt is a chain. For them, it's a fire break. It stops the damage from spreading. You don't need a maze of legal entities, but you can not co-sign risky loans. Keep personal and business finances separate if you have a side hustle. Use basic structures to protect yourself as you build.
Part 7. Taxes, the game within the game. Here's another one that makes me shake my head: taxes. Most of us see taxes as something that just happens to us once a year. We file, we hope we don't owe, we move on. The wealthy see taxes as a multi-year strategy game. During a recession, their accountants and lawyers go to work. Tax loss harvesting, selling losing investments to lock in losses on paper, which they use to offset gains for years. 1031 exchanges. In the US, selling real estate and immediately rolling into another property, deferring capital gains indefinitely. Depreciation. Writing off the loss in value of property even while it's generating cash and appreciating. They're not cheating, they're just playing the game at the level where they actually read the rule book. And the crazy part, most of these tools are available to regular people too. You just have to learn how retirement accounts actually work, understand the difference between capital gains and ordinary income, use the deductions and credits you're eligible for. It's not sexy, but over 30 years, it's the difference between comfortable retirement and struggling.
Part 8, the inner circle. Your network is your net worth. Last thing, and honestly, this might be the most underrated, our network. In a recession, most people's social circles become, man, this sucks. I might get laid off. Everything's expensive. We're all screwed. And I get it. That's natural. But the wealthy, they're doing something completely different. Recessions for them are networking gold mines. The golf course is empty. People who were too busy during boom times suddenly want to talk. And in those quiet conversations, intelligence gets shared. Deals get made. Syndicates get formed. Hey, I heard about a family business that's about to go under. Want to go in on it together? I've got a line on a distressed property portfolio. You in? Your network in a recession might be emotional support. Their network is an intelligence agency and a deal flow machine. You don't need to be at country clubs, but you can. Stay in touch with smart, driven people in your field. Join communities focused on opportunities, not just complaints. Use downturns as reason to reach out. Hey, how are you navigating this? What are you seeing? Money moves through strong networks. Build yours now.
All right, let's bring this home. If you take nothing else from this video, remember this. Most people are taught, work hard, get paid. Don't work, don't get paid. That's linear. You trade time for money. The people who come out of recessions richer think, I need to build or buy systems that pay me whether I'm working or not. Those systems could be businesses, rental properties, dividend stocks, royalties, index funds, anything that generates cash flow without your constant presence. A recession to them is just a reshuffling of who owns those systems. The over-leveraged and the panicked lose theirs. The patient and prepared quietly step in and take them. They're not betting on a recovery. They're shaping the
the recovery so that when the economy bounces back, and it always has, they own more of the machine than before. Now, can you go out tomorrow and buy a $1 billion loan portfolio? Probably not. But can you start seeing recessions as cycles, not apocalypses? Build a small war chest before the next downturn. Own quality assets you'd be happy to buy more of if they dropped 40%. Protect your downside so you're never a forced seller. Learn the basic tax and legal tools available to you. Build a network of people looking for solutions, not just problems. Absolutely. You don't have to become a billionaire, but you can move, one step at a time, from being a casualty of the cycle to being someone who knows exactly what to do when everything goes on sale. The gap between those two? It's smaller than you think, and it starts with a choice. Do I keep reacting out of fear, or do I start preparing out of wisdom? If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments what you want me to break down next, and subscribe. Should I do a deep dive on building that war chest? On finding recession-proof assets? On tax strategies for regular people? Tell me, and I'll make it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.